We're live.
We want you to come in and have a conversation with us. So come on in. We're live. Hi, my name's Nicole, and this is my friend Beth, who's here live.
Hi, everyone.
And we're going to have a fun conversation for the next couple of minutes about something that's important to all of us as business owners, which is visibility.
Visibility.
Beth and I are exactly what to say certified guides, which means we help people know the right words at the right time so that they can make the connections that matter in their lives. Beth and I have been guides since 2022.
Yes.
It's been a while.
Yes.
And one of the best parts about being a guide is meeting wonderful people like Beth. As well, we have all the time different ways to get experiences and value from the other guides. And today was one of those days. We had a little gathering of the guides, and one of the brand managers of the guide of the brand did a little presentation on visibility. And Beth was like, "Ooh,
I like this topic.
We should talk more."
And
about
did you know
that.
I knew her before exactly what to say?
You knew Claire before?
Yes. I forget if we connected on Twitter or Facebook, somewhere back in the day.
She was visible somewhere back in the day.
Visible. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to tag her when we're done.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? Let me see if I can do it in the, I don't know if I can. Oh no, because it won't.
It's already going.
It goes all to all the
afterwards.
Things. Yeah. We'll tag her in it. But it was a really great conversation. And you know, for those of you who are business owners like Beth and I, as I put in the description, people can't buy what they don't know is for sale. So we have to be visible. We have to put ourselves out there. That really is the name of the game. And yet it's as simple and as difficult as that.
It absolutely is. And you know what I always think about is sometimes we think we're out there too much, forgetting about the fact that there's so much noise that we probably could be out there twice as much and it wouldn't matter, or it would matter. It would help.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we live in a noisy world. There's a lot of it out there. And I mean, I'll just share this. For anybody watching, I'm sure you've done something similar. I would take a long time to like write something that I put my heart and soul into and I thought was really good. And all those things were true. It was really good. And I did put my heart and soul into it. And it wouldn't get seen. And it was something that was really great that I wanted to be seen. And it's not that it wasn't great. It's not that, you know, there were people I'm sure that saw it that liked it or whatever. But the more shots we take, the more shots we can make. And I think when it comes down to it, it's not about quantity without quality. There is an obligation that we're putting something of value out into the world. But what I've learned recently, and I'd love to hear your take on this, Beth, is what I was putting so much weight in as being valuable was only one piece of what's valuable to the people who want to experience us, learn from us, be a part of our world. And so I was looking at it as I had to be. We live in an information age. There's freaking information anywhere. Somebody can go Google it and look it up on ChatGPT or wherever they want to. So me just sharing information, turns out, is boring. And it's what anybody can do. And what nobody can do is be me.
Exactly.
And that was the game changer.
Yeah. And I think people want to know the person behind the brand, if you will. They really do, both for small businesses like ours and large businesses too. People want to know who is leading that business. What do they care about? What's their life like? They really do want to know the person.
Yes.
And that can be uncomfortable for people, I think, sometimes if they're not used to doing it.
Yeah. And I think you're 100% right. They want to know the person because in a world where there doesn't have to be a person, where the whole thing can be manufactured, people actually want connection. And I think that energy of connection is what people actually want to experience from us, which is what makes them then go, oh, I want to be closer to her. I want to be in her orbit or learn from her in some way. Here's money, right? Here's my exchange. Not that that's just the end all to be all, but that's where it comes from, is when there's an attraction to the person that is a real person behind what's going on.
Exactly. Or like you said, you might as well just Google it or watch a YouTube video or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that level of like, I don't know. I always used to call it edutainment. And I first learned it when I was a math teacher. I couldn't go in there and just talk about the freaking quadratic formula or the Pythagorean theorem. There had to be a story that went with it. And quite often, you know what the story was about? How we won the flag football game on my flag football team the night before. And somehow I tied it into math, or I didn't, because part of what I had to do was to create buy-in so that I can get a class of teenagers to do what they probably really have zero desire to do. Nobody's trying to do math problems unless they're a math nerd like me, right? And it's like, oh, but if I can provide some level of buy-in or attract some level of buy-in by providing the edutainment, tell a story about the dog, tell the story about the flag football game, the next thing you know, they're hanging on every word and they're excited about doing the math. Not because they are excited about doing math, you know?
What grade did you teach?
I taught high school.
High school.
Yeah, most of my geometry was my jam. It was my all-time favorite. It still is. If you give me geometry proofs right now, I will sit down and nerd out. So I mostly had in geometry freshmen and sophomores, but I taught all the levels.
I love it. I love it. See, that's something that people might not have known about you. And now they do.
You know what? That's such an interesting point to make, Beth, because that is something somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago. He and I are connected through a TEDx event here in Nashville, and he's a great speaker. And he was following something that I said on one of my Instagram stories. He's like, wait, you were a teacher? It just makes you we know our lives so well that we forget that this isn't like a chronological movie that people have been watching of us,
right?
You know?
Right.
And sharing little stories and little things that are from who we've been, that have made us who we are, is how people become attracted to us, and not romantic attraction, just attraction. Like, yeah. I like that energy. I want to be around that because it creates relatability. Either it's funny and I think that's funny when you told that story, or that happened to me too, or something just like that did happen to me. Wow, she's just like me.
I agree. So cool. And, you know, I was thinking back to what you said about when you took a lot of time, and not that we shouldn't take time when we develop things that we're going to share, but if we dwell on it and do 30 different versions, it's, first of all, one person could see it. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I remember back in the day when I worked in corporate, I had a graphic designer that worked for me, and he was one of the most talented graphic designers I have ever met. And it's one thing to do 10 different versions of the annual report or the annual report cover,
mm-hmm.
but to do 10 different versions of a web banner that was going to be up for 24 hours, no, that doesn't make sense. So thinking about the type of content and how long it lives, I think also will give you a sense of,
yes.
If you're at an event and you're doing a selfie and saying, hey, meet us at the event, you don't need to come up with 30 different versions of that.
Right. That's a good point. Like, how long does it live? Now, technically, if somebody wanted to dig in your profile, depending on what platform they're on, they could find it. I would make sure that whatever you are going to post has the right intention, right? If there's ill intent, then it probably will live a lot longer than you want it to. But if you're writing a book, put a little bit more time and some intention into it. But if you're posting something on social media, it's almost like a trial to see what sticks. It's like a little experiment. Hey, what really resonated? That's what I'm doing. For anyone watching, there's a 10 posts a day challenge on Facebook that I decided to do at the beginning of September. And I won't take up our time now talking about it's all about visibility, but it's been really interesting seeing how the number of times that I post during the day has had an incredible impact on how many views I'm getting. Like, incredible. I guess, again, I shouldn't be too surprised, right? The more shots you take, the more shots you make. Yeah. But it really is giving me an opportunity to go, oh, that's a thought, and type it and put it out there. And if it gets a lot of traction, it's like, oh, okay. Not that automatically makes it right or valid. My thought is my thought, no matter what. But when you're attracting audiences and creating content, it's nice to know what resonates and what sticks for people and what really gets through to them. And to me, that's kind of what I'm like, testing a bunch of content.
And I love the idea of an experiment,
mm-hmm.
because if it's not an experiment, you can think in absolutes, like either it was a successful post or it was a failure.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's an experiment, it was either successful or you learned something.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I love that. I love the idea of, and when people, I don't know if they ask you the same thing, but people will ask me stuff like, how often should I post, or what time of the day, or
Yeah.
you know what? Not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. In other words, if you have something of value that will help people or inspire people or make people question something, then just do it. Do it when you can do it, and do it when you can be there to engage with the people who may have questions or want to comment.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I mean, we live in a world where somebody's going to be awake at some time. You know, we have access to the global marketplace. Like, yeah, post it. I mean, obviously we're being cheeky and funny, but like literally there aren't rules. And I think that is where you and I talked a little bit about this. I had just not been enjoying any part of being on because I had put myself into such a rigid structure of rules around it and what it needed to look like. And on this platform, it has to be this way. And I just couldn't breathe. I was like, let me just post some videos of me dancing in my kitchen while I'm cooking dinner. Let me post some videos of my dog playing at the dog park, because those are parts of me, first of all. And second of all, it just felt like a huge experiment, but also departure from what I had become so rule oriented around. I was like,
well, I have a question on the dancing videos. Are you telling people what you're cooking?
I have not yet coordinated the ability to dance and cook at the same time. What I end up doing is just dancing and a little.
I love to cook. So I would probably, if I was doing it, I'd be doing a video like, this is what I'm making, and I'd be dancing along with it. But yeah.
Maybe I'll try. I like that though. That's good. That'll challenge me. Because again, I'm just posting content to have fun, and it really happens to be resonating. The only challenge I have right now of the challenge is I like to dance to songs that I don't have the rights to. So when I play them and I'm dancing, Facebook cuts off the live at a certain point. And
did you see the idea in the chat from our conversation earlier? Someone had an idea of doing it as a quiz.
Guess the song. I like that.
That could be fun.
Yeah. I was like, maybe I'll do that. Guess the song. It's going to be one of these four. That's what I could do.
That would be fun.
That might be kind of fun.
Honestly, right? The beats of a lot of songs are the same. So
yeah,
we'll just see you dancing around.
Yeah.
But,
so I should give some choices, and then.
And it would show people either what they think you would like, or if they know you, what they know you would like, things like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interactive. I did a 2 truths and 1 lie post one day because I don't know. And a big part of me, every time I go to post anything, I'm like, oh, is this dumb? Are people going to be like, why is she posting this? This doesn't matter. Nobody cares about that. And then I'm like, oh, the negative committee showed up. Just in time to hit post. What are you guys doing here? Get out, get out. And then
and there's more of that on certain platforms. You know,
yeah.
You'll get that depending where you are, and other places, not so much.
Well, I feel that a lot on your favorite platform. And don't get me wrong. I do enjoy LinkedIn. There's things about it that I really like, but my level of filter, my level of censorship of myself is much higher.
Oh, and mine is too.
Much higher. But I don't want to believe it has to be that way. Just like the time thing. You know, you brought up, what's the best time to post? There's nothing. What's the best stuff to post on LinkedIn? You. And I get it. There's a little bit of a different expectation with users on that platform. I've definitely posted some things that like probably were not necessarily LinkedIn appropriate intentionally, just to see how it went. But an experiment, because that's what it's all about. Got it. Well, you know what's funny? Okay, I'll share this because I shared this last week on another video. One of the posts that I posted on LinkedIn a couple of years ago, I was in a copywriting class. We were having a lot of fun with these crazy hooks. And I made up this hook, what can orgasms teach you about sales conversations?
I remember that post.
Most people do. And it got a lot of attention. I put a really funny picture that went with it. There was nothing like inappropriate about it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like graphic. It was just kind of making an insinuation about like, you're treating this like this, right? Pretty good if I'm going to toot my own horn. But anyways, I was on a sales call 3 weeks ago with a woman who said, I've got to tell you, I saw you speak in June, and there has not been one time that I have forgotten about the fact that I was going to hire you. So as soon as I saw you speak, I knew. And she said, you know why I came to see you speak? Because about a week before, I was on your email list and you sent me an email about orgasms. And I was like, you got that email? Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. And I told my sales team, we're going to see her speak. And I showed it to them too.
Well, and that shows you, if you allow yourself to be you, whether you're funny, whether you're not, whatever it is,
Silly, goofy,
you'll attract the right people for you and repel the people that are not right for you. I remember being on the phone once with somebody who was looking for somebody to come speak somewhere. And I forget what they said that made me respond this way, but I responded saying, look, if you're looking for somebody who's going to jump across the stage and you'll crush it, that's not me. And I'm very happy to introduce you to somebody who has that style or that way of being.
yes.
So I think being who we are, and you like to be a little sort of fun and that way. And so that will attract the right people who would want to work with you. It makes total sense.
And it'll make sure the ones who aren't right to work with me don't.
Yes.
I don't think any of us, there's no doubt that anybody on this planet has value to offer for the right people. Let the right people find you. And that's, again, it's as simple and difficult as that. Because that means you have to be willing to show yourself.
It's true. And there's the time component. I mean, I don't know how much time it's taking you to do 10 posts a day, but before we got on here, I was saying how I took August off from posting.
Yeah.
On
tell us more about that.
It started by accident, where I was just, I don't feel like posting this week. I was enjoying the summer and using that time to do other things offline.
Yeah.
And then I extended it and it became all August. And I wondered what would happen when I got back. And, would I have 2 views? Would I have lost my audience? Nope. So maybe they weren't online. Maybe they wouldn't have seen the post anyway, but everything was fine. And I felt refreshed and not burnt out and had something to say after taking some time off. So, yeah. So I tell people, yes, be consistent, but also live your life.
Right. Lo and behold, you didn't disappear. You didn't become irrelevant. You just jumped right back in and there it was. And I bet there were some people that didn't even notice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Cause I think that is, well, just like earlier when we were on the call with the guides, the Exactly What to Say guides, somebody asked the question, who puts this pressure on us? And everybody was like, ourselves.
We do. Yep.
But it can be very easy because, it goes back to how we started this. If you're a business owner, visibility is so important. And so giving ourselves that opportunity to pull back feels scary, even though it sounds like, and I just want to commend you for listening to yourself, to your body, to your soul. Like, hey, I'm enjoying summer. I'm not enjoying. And I think there are so many of us that mute that. And that's how we get to the burnout, the resentment, the frustration, the not feeling like we're enjoying what we're doing.
It's interesting because somebody, I think as a comment on my first post when I got back, which was about that, I basically said I've been ghosting LinkedIn, said something about, oh, well, you could pre-schedule. And that's so not me. It's okay if there are people, right, who can plan things, but that's not me. And that's not how I do it. So it would have been so inauthentic for me to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It has to feel like you, no matter what it is. And some people are happy to batch and happy to pre-schedule. And I say more power to you.
Yep.
To each her own. And I think that's kind of the whole point of what we're talking about, right? It's like, do it your way. Going back to something you had mentioned, because I've gotten this question a lot, like, how much time is it taking you? Is it taking forever? Yes and no. Not nearly as much time as I thought to create it, because I'm not really putting any filters on myself. I'm feeling up against those edges, but I'm giving myself like between 5 and 10 minutes total to write something if it's like a longer post. I mean, if a question, like I was eating chickpeas from a can yesterday and I was like, God, I love these things. I could just eat the whole can. And I was like, is it just me? Am I a weirdo? And I was like, posted on Facebook. And I just said, is it just me or do you eat chickpeas out of the can too? There are all kinds of people commenting. Like, it's just you. No, I do it too. And so like, no, it's because I'm letting myself really be self-expressed in that way. That took me like all of a minute. I thought of it. I was eating the chickpeas. I was like, let me post it. There was another one that I wrote about what I do on Sundays, and I meal prep. And I probably spent like 15 minutes sitting down because I like, you know, I wrote it and then I was like, oh no, that belongs up there. So I took a little bit of time.
Did you dance while you meal prepped?
I did dance while I meal prepped.
Love
and yeah, I feel like I'm trying to make it less a thing and more just make it so fluid because if I'm building a personal brand, then it's got to be woven in the fabric of my life, which means I should always be in some way considering how can this make somebody better? And my the easiest way for a lot of us to make the world a better place is to share our perspective in social media. You have access to the global marketplace. You have access to the world. Yep. And if you feel that and it is everybody's perspective, I think makes this world a better place, then I guess let it rip.
I love it. What fun.
That's what it's all about, right? I heard I'll say this, this is the last quote that I'll leave us with. I heard this recently at an event that I was at here in Nashville, and there was a panel of people and they were all talking kind of about visibility, but in the theme, it was really urgency of message, urgency of like mattering to the world. Right. And the one guy stood up and he said, the two most important things that you can deploy in the world are your perspective and possibility.
Ooh,
I like that. Gary Weaver said it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. Our perspective and possibility. Show others possibility for their own lives and share your perspective because that's what you were put on this earth to do.
I love that.
So in the name of getting visible and helping the world, go share your perspective. And if anybody has comments, please share. Thoughts came up during this. I think this is a great conversation for a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners to be in right now.
It was so great to catch up with you. It's been too long.
You too, Beth. This was really fun. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. Bye.